Your silence is a doorless fortress that the world mistakes for a declaration of war, potentially suffocating the very souls trying to love you.
Your silence isn't just a boundary, it's a psychological battlefield. While you think you are simply breathing in the depths of your own soul, the world outside sees a fortress with no doors. To them, your stillness is a provocation. Your quietude is a declaration of war. Are you protecting your light, or are you accidentally suffocating the very people who are trying to love you? Welcome back to Jin's Cosmic. For a Scorpio, privacy is not a preference, it is a sacred sanctuary. When you go silent, you have no intention of punishing anyone. You are simply diving to the bottom of your own ocean to filter through emotional debris. But here lies the paradox. The quieter you become, the louder you scream in the minds of others. This is especially true for the power trio Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. Why does your fortress instinctively trigger their deepest, most ancient ghosts of insecurity? We are about to perform a psychological autopsy on your non-negotiable boundaries. The Master of Survival. Scorpio is the undisputed master of disconnecting to survive. You possess an internal emergency kill switch that triggers the moment the outside world feels too invasive, too loud, or too fake. To you, this retreat is an act of ultimate self-sovereignty, a necessary ritual to cleanse your energy and reclaim your power. You don't see it as an attack. You see it as a return to the womb of your own soul. However, in the world of human connection, your silence functions like a psychological black hole. It doesn't just sit there. It actively sucks the air out of the room, leaving everyone else gasping for a narrative that isn't there. For the other fixed signs, who value stability and consistency just as much as you do, this sudden vacuum feels like a betrayal of the cosmic contract. For Taurus, the earthquake of uncertainty. Taurus is the anchor of the zodiac. They require tangible physical presence and earthy consistency to feel secure. When you go silent, you aren't just being quiet, you are removing the ground from beneath their feet. Taurus lives by the rule that what I see is what is real, but your brooding gaze hides 1,000 layers of meaning they cannot decode. This lack of data feels like an earthquake to them. Because they cannot see your heart, they assume the foundation of the relationship is crumbling. This profound uncertainty triggers their survival instinct, turning their steady nature into a state of stubborn, cold, passive aggression. They won't ask what's wrong. They will simply dig their heels in and build a wall of their own. For Leo, the blackout of the soul. Leo lives on the warmth of recognition and the vital flow of emotional feedback. They are the sun, and they need to feel their light reflected back at them. A Scorpio's sudden silence acts like a total solar blackout, right in the middle of a Leo's performance. To a Leo, your withdrawal isn't just space, it is a personal rejection of their very essence. It strikes a direct, painful blow to their radiant self-esteem. They interpret your quietude as a sign that they are no longer worthy of your attention, or worse, that you are secretly judging them. This silence bruises the lion's heart, causing them to either roar in desperate need for attention, or retreat into a wounded, icy pride that can take lifetimes to thaw. For Aquarius, the system failure. Aquarius operates on the frequency of logical transparency and collective connection. They want to understand the why behind every human action. When you close the doors to your soul without a manual or an explanation, Aquarius feels deplatformed from the relationship. Their brilliant, analytical mind immediately goes into overdrive, trying to use intellect and logic to hack into your fortress. They want to find the source code of your anger or your sadness. But they eventually realize they are failing against an emotional algorithm that defies all human logic. This failure drives them mad. It makes them feel that the connection is broken beyond repair. To an Aquarius, a mystery they cannot solve is a threat to the system, leading them to detach entirely just to keep their own mind from short-circuiting. A clash of kings. This is where the biggest egos of the zodiac collide. You demand absolute control over your internal territory, but that very rigidity destabilizes the power structures of everyone around you. We are analyzing a conflict with no winners. Your non-negotiable need for inner privacy versus their urgent need for external validation. Scorpio, ask yourself, are you building a wall to protect the diamond within, or are you building a tomb to bury your most precious connections? The truth is, your boundaries are often mistaken for manipulation. People fear what they cannot see, and because they see nothing inside you, they invent the worst-case scenarios. Are you guarding yourself, or are you unintentionally declaring war on your own allies? Why the fortress crumbles. Why is the fortress of silence a catalyst for chaos? Because Scorpio accidentally forces others to face the void. Most people fear silence because, within that quiet, they are forced to hear their own voices. When you don't respond, you push Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius into an existential stalemate. They cannot control you, and for any authority sign, the inability to control a Scorpio is their greatest nightmare. This is a karmic loop. You go silent to find peace, but that silence creates a storm around you. The deeper you dive to avoid the storm, the stronger the winds become because those on the surface are panicking. Your silence becomes a psychological stress test they were never prepared to pass. It pushes them to the brink, forcing their darkest, most vulnerable shadows to the surface. Your silence isn't just a boundary, it's a psychological battlefield. While you think you are simply breathing in the depths of your own soul, the world outside sees a fortress with no doors. To them, your stillness is a provocation. Your quietude is a declaration of war. Are you protecting your light, or are you accidentally suffocating the very people who are trying to love you? Welcome back to Jin's Cosmic. For a Scorpio, privacy is not a preference, it is a sacred sanctuary. When you go silent, you have no intention of punishing anyone. You are simply diving to the bottom of your own ocean to filter through emotional debris. But here lies the paradox. The quieter you become, the louder you scream in the minds of others. This is especially true for the power trio Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. Why does your fortress instinctively trigger their deepest, most ancient ghosts of insecurity? We are about to perform a psychological autopsy on your non-negotiable boundaries. Life born from the dark. A Scorpio's silence can be a healing art, but it can also be a death sentence for relationships if used without empathy. Don't let your sanctuary become a mausoleum. You have every right to your privacy, but make sure the silver cord between you and the world still carries a pulse. Are you a Scorpio quietly building walls, or are you the one trying to break them down? Do you believe silence is golden, or is it a chemical weapon? Share your story below. Don't forget to subscribe to Jin's Cosmic for more journeys into the labyrinth of the soul.